Hello and welcome to BMC MainView for DB2, monitoring DB2 page sets. Chad Reber here, a BMC DB2 software consultant. For the next few minutes I will be showing you just how to use MainView for DB2 to find valuable information about the DB2 objects being accessed by your DB2 application within your DB2 subsystem. MainView has a number of views that help analyze, evaluate, and monitor data interaction within DB2. MainView monitors all aspects of DB2 and the DB2 subsystem: EDM pool, how many SQLs are processed, logging rates. DB2 monitors also look at transactions or threads that are running on these systems. One resource that is common across all the different DB2 components is the database data itself. Data is kept in DB2 objects or page sets, and if we are looking at problems or performance, one critical component is how the data is being transferred and used by DB2. This quick course will show you the views that are available in MainView to show information pertaining to the datasets or page sets that house the DB2 data. MainView has a DB2 page set menu that is a starting point to the metrics. There are other hyperlinks within other menus or views that will get you to the page set views, but in this quick course we are going to start at the page set menu. Within the menu you will see information about page sets currently being used. Because of MainView's single system image, data can be shown for one or many DB2 subsystems, so you can see how your page sets are being accessed across a many-member data sharing group. As with most of the data within MainView, users have the ability to look at data over time. DB2 page set metrics are no different. You will see with the page set menu you can look at data for the current interval or use the page set summary views to look at data in the past. DB2 data is processed both synchronously and asynchronously. The I/O required from DASD can have a significant effect on CPU usage and especially elapsed time. MainView shows I/O data, including I/O wait time, down at the page set level. Lastly, MainView page set availability. This shows specifically if any DB2 objects or page sets are restricted or in an advisory state. This is important if you're working a DB2 problem and want to verify the status of objects identified as a potential problem. So where can we find the DB2 page set menu? Most of the major menus within MainView for DB2, such as EasyDSSI, EasyDB2, or EasyDBA, have a hyperlink for the page set menu. Here I am on the EasyDB2 menu, and on the lower left you can see the caret sign next to the page set menu, indicating there's another menu once you hyperlink. Once in the page set menu or DB2 object menu, you can see how the view is laid out. Page set information is current information about the page sets for this DB2 or multiple DB2s. You can see on the window line I am connected to DJJ1. The page set information is broken down into a number of views to show valuable information on how DB2 is processing my page sets. Summaries are summary views that show data summarized and then allow the user to drill down into the individual specifics. These summary views are also the views that can show interval history by using the time command. I/O statistics by page sets on the upper right hand portion of the screen. Right below that is the object status summary, which show restricted and objects that have some advisory pending status. And lastly, you have the ability to jump from MainView to BMC's Catalog Manager to get all the gory details about DB2 objects with BMC's administration product. From this screen, I'm going to hyperlink into the status view. This view provides me information about the database objects currently being used by DB2. Details about the object name, partition if appropriate, whether it's a partition space, table space, or index space, and if there's any current threads or users using these objects. Other data is useful: size of the object, percent of the allocation which is currently being used, number of extents, and number of pages in the deferred write queue. The deferred write queue reflects the number of updates which have been made but not yet physically written to the table space. Updates will be pending until the user reaches a commit point. However, they may continue to be pending after the commit until a system checkpoint or deferred write threshold is reached. The error field indicates if there's an error range of physical pages that restrict the use of this object. And lastly, whether the object is global buffer pool dependent. Hyperlinking on users of one of these objects will bring you to the thread that is using that object. Now you can look at the active thread for any specific details. From the page set menu, if you select Cache Statistics, you will be brought to the PS Cache view. From this view, you will look at current page sets and information about the data cached within the DB2 buffer pools. Number of pages that are currently in the virtual buffer pool, number of change pages in the buffer pool, and the percentage of the space to the rest of the buffer pool for that object. For the system I am looking at, DJJ1, there are 662 active page sets. In a heavily production system, there would be many more active page sets, thousands. I want to focus on the page sets which are buffer pool number 2. I can include a mask and then specify BP2 for the buffer pool. The result will focus your page sets to only those in buffer pool 2. Another current DB2 page set view is the list page sets, which can be done by DB2 or by multiple DB2 subsystems. The list view will provide information about I/O against the DB2 object, total I/O wait, and average I/O wait time. You can use this view to validate the I/O performance you are getting retrieving DB2 data for your application programs. PS List View breaks the I/O data into synchronous I/O and asynchronous I/O. MainView uses some bar charts to show high I/O time. This directly affects the performance of your DB2 threads. The last current DB2 object view is around Group Buffer Pool Dependent Status. This view provides information about the number of objects that are group buffer pool dependent. Group buffer pool dependency is determined by the level of interest in the local member and all the remote members. This is reflected in the PLOC state. If there is some combination of rewrite and any other interest, rewrite or read-only, in 2 or more of the members, the object is deemed global buffer pool dependent. The data is further broken out by who has read-write interest, the local or the remote systems. Hyperlinking on the number of global buffer pool dependent objects will provide which objects are GBP. Okay, back to the DB2 object menu. If you need to look in the past and review the page set statistics, you would look at the summaries views on the left-hand side of the menu. The data is broken down by DASI volume, buffer pool, database, or by object. For this demo, I will go by DASI volumes by DB2 subsystem. This view shows the DB2 access for this DB2 subsystem by the volumes that have DB2 objects accessed by that DB2 subsystem. Same type of information is provided as we see from the current views, sync and async IOs, as well as the wait times. By default, this data is for the current MainView statistics interval. If you need the data for an hour ago, I can use the time command to have this view show statistic interval I need. The last view that is valuable within DB2 page set menu is the object status summary. This is a current view which will provide information on restricted objects, objects that are currently being used by utilities, objects that have any restriction, and objects that have an advisory status. This view shows data across multiple DB2 systems. By hyperlinking on any of these columns will show the objects that meet that category. I am having issues with DHN2, which has 23 objects that are restricted. I put my cursor on that number and hit enter. The OBJX view will show the 2-part name of the object that is restricted, partition information if appropriate, the current access, and the current status. You'll notice there are some object access that is in stop E, stop, and read only. But there are some objects that are in read-write mode. But you notice the status is check pending, which could restrict access because the check utility needs to be run to validate the DB2 maintained RI. For the DIA1 subsystem, I also looked at the 10 objects that have advisory status. There are some objects in advisory reorg, and some index objects which need copies. I would like to take this moment to thank you for your time. As you can see, MainView for DB2 can provide a lot of information around DB2 page sets. MainView does not turn on any special ifkid traces to collect this data, so there is no additional overhead to DB2 for MainView to share this data. If you need further information or for product documentation, please refer to the BMC support website. Thank you.